Yo, welcome to the Yeetcast. Today we're gonna be looking at r/entitled parents, and these cunts are on the side. I'll put
Please
their
say
fucking
don't do a dumb
channels.
intro.
I don't fucking care. Fuck you.
Yeah,
Alright,
what the fuck's with that?
I'll read the first fucking paragraph.
Heck you, you mean?
Let's do it. All right. Hi everyone. So I'm a first-time Reddit user. I decided to make a Reddit post of my own personal experience after finding a few entitled parent YouTube videos. The EP in the story was actually my then wife, and was a factor in what caused us to divorce.
Hold up. And it was a factor.
And
Lol.
was a factor in what caused us to divorce.
This is almost as bad as Nice Girls.
Yeah,
Who cares?
the grammar, fuck it. It's just gonna be grammar errors. Okay, go.
So as a starter, my wife, who I call always, God damn it.
My wife, who I will always call Emily.
So as a starter, my wife, who I will call Emily, was always a bit entitled. Why the fuck did they say I will call them? Just fucking call them anything. It doesn't fucking matter.
Just
Jesus.
call them
I'll
your
be right
wife,
back.
don't even
I got
mention
kids
their
to
name.
feed.
Who cares? Just keep
I got
fucking
kids to
going.
feed. I'll be
As
right
she had grown up with wealthy parents and truly was one of those keep me in a lifestyle to which I become accustomed types. I accepted that because I knew that was her parents that had made her this way. And that is these learned behaviors that could be unlearned just by existing in real life. And she truly had a wonderful side. She could be generous and loving and truly cared about the people she allowed into her life. I think this also played into her entitled parent status, though, because she expected others to be as generous as she could be, and is fiercely and blindly protective of our children, unable to see how they are in the wrong until after the fact, when I had explained it to her in great and excruciating detail. All this to say, she had a big disconnect between how she should behave and her expectations of others versus what is actually appropriate and realistic expectations of strangers. With that picture painted, here's what happened.
Pick someone.
We were at Tesco's with my youngest daughter who had mild autism and struggles to understand social situations. You may also know that people with autism have a distorted sense of self and can be very self-centered. My daughter collects Funko Pops and is currently obsessed with Harry Potter. She needed the Luna Lovegood with the lion headdress one, and every time we went into Tesco's, she would run to the toy aisle to see if they had it. We could have ordered it online, but we promised to get it. We promised to get her if it was there, and this hope made it far easier to manage having her and whatever activity she was doing at home. And to get her in the car, she struggles with transitions, and these can be hugely stressful for her.
What are
I was
Funko
just-
Pops?
You know what? Okay, it's weird. I know what they are because my sister's boyfriend collects them. They're
Aren't they just pop vinyls?
They're pretty much just like plastic figurines.
I'll pop a picture of
Yeah.
one up on screen.
So they're pop vinyls.
Yeah, pretty
Okay,
much.
stop moving the
You
words.
know-
I was
'cause
just
it's-
moving it, so it's
I'm
more.
Yeah.
I'm so glad I didn't make a joke after Emish's. I was gonna say the way he read it made it sound like a Harry Potter erotica.
Wow.
And, then
Okay.
it brought up the child with mild autism.
Who's
wanting
next?
Harry
Let's see.
Potter.
Let's throw.
MD.
Let's
so
throw
on this
Snoop up.
occasion,
Snoop.
So on this occasion, we arrive at Tesco's, and she runs right to the aisle. We follow behind at a distance to allow her time to browse without us looking over her shoulder. She's been out of sight for no longer than a minute when we hear her scream. We both ran over in panic and find my daughter trying to pry the covered pop out of another young girl's hand. Wow, that's truly sad. This young girl is in a wheelchair.
How is that funny, you fucking asshole?
Wow.
I'm picturing an autistic kid stealing from a disabled kid. I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Well, they're both disabled.
Clearly.
You're such a dick.
Okay, stop. Okay. I know you wouldn't judge my daughter here, but please do keep in mind that she has autism and associated learning disabilities herself.
It's not funny, dude. What the fuck?
It's my toy.
The daughter
Mom
or
says
the
it's
girl
my
in the
toy on
wheelchair
Xbox.
is trying to hold the pop out of reach. Oh,
I'm going to
okay.
hell for laughing.
And
Oh,
her
yeah.
mom is standing to the side of her, trying to get between my daughter and hers without touching my daughter.
My
A tr-
wife
a
stomps
trying
over and
task.
immediately.
Continue.
My wife stomps over and immediately starts on the mother. Don't you dare touch my daughter. The mom, with the patience of a saint, looks at my wife and says, I'm not. I'm trying to stop her from hurting my daughter. I get a bit annoyed at this because my daughter has never been violent with anyone, but can see why she would make this assumption given what was happening. My wife did not see this. She instantly started shouting, "How dare you? Is that sexual assault? How dare you?"
What?
Sorry.
Can
It's a
I say something?
reference to Humongous. Yes, go ahead, Flower.
Him. My wife is yelling at me, so I got a blast.
Oh,
Oof.
okay.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Oof.
How dare you? What do you think she is? Some kind of monster? She would never hurt a retarded person. Wow. Wow. She just wants the pop. Why does that sound so bad?
It doesn't. Fuck you on about?
Yeah, not really.
If you would just give it to her, she would leave you alone. She looks at the girl and says, "Give it to her now." The mom instantly steps into my wife's face and very calmly warns my wife that if she calls her daughter that again, she will beat the shit out of her. My wife looks at me for help, but I just look here. Wait, look at here. What? I guess that's
Don't
look at
worry.
her? Look at her?
Keep
Okay,
going.
yeah. The truth is, I was about to intervene on behalf of the mother. I was so full of rage at my wife at this point that she would call a child this, given our own daughter's issues, and how upset she, my daughter, had gotten when she had called this in the past.
When she had been called this.
Yeah, I know, I corrected myself.
Alright, calm down.
I knew
Retard.
right now.
Oh,
Right then.
God, you know what? I'm about to steal a Funko Pop from a disabled person.
I knew right then.
It's my toy. Go away.
I knew
Wow.
right then.
That's actually offensive. I'm
continue.
We're
so offended
definitely
right now.
No. We're going to fucking hell. I don't care.
Oh, yeah.
who
hell
fuck
yeah.
You maybe.
I knew
Shut
right
up,
then.
Amish.
I knew right then that this woman I had chosen to marry was a vile human being. They argued back and forth for a little while with no real resolution. Meanwhile, I have grabbed and picked up my daughter to stop her trying to get the young girl with the pop. This argument was pretty mundane, the usual things you'd expect. The mother explaining why she didn't have to give up the toy as her daughter had picked it up first. We later found out that there was loads left on the shelf. It wasn't even the only one. And
Oof.
my then wife had the audacity to tell this that my daughter needed it because she has autism and her daughter didn't. At this point, I got fed up of listening, and I did intervene. I cut my wife off and apologized profusely to the mother and offered to buy her daughter the pop. She, not so politely, but also understandably, declined. As she made her way away, my wife began screaming at me about how I should have defended her. Why does this sound like an episode of F is for Family?
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
And how I was out of order for not... what?
I should have defended her, and how I was out of order for not.
Okay. I explained to my wife that I would have nothing to say to her until we got to the car, noticed the remaining Luna Pops, and let my daughter choose another. My wife followed me around, trying to engage me in conversation, but I ignored her for the most part. And I reiterated that I had no intention of speaking to her. I had never been so disgusted by anyone in my life, and the idea that this woman was the mother of my child made me feel sick. I later explained to her why she was wrong. Are you mansplaining now?
Shut the fuck up. Oh my god.
And she began to get it, but the damage had been done. I could not be with someone who would use that word to describe someone who had it even worse than our daughter. We ended up divorcing over something else some weeks later. But in the back of my mind then, and now, this was the beginning of the end.
Is there some more?
Yeah, I think so.
Oh, just a little bit.
Oh, it's just edits, I think.
Oh, okay. It just ends it up. I'll do it. I know this didn't have much of a climatic conclusion, but I wanted to share this as I think you guys will all find it interesting enough. I'm hugely shocked at the attention this has gotten, and I'm glad that the majority of you fine folks seem to agree with the action I chose to take. However, a couple of quick edits to update everyone. For this asking why she still got the toy, I'll copy and paste the reply I offered someone else who asked earlier. I had to have a think about it before we got her the pop. Had things not escalated the way they did, I would have explained to her why her behavior was wrong, had her apologize, and then explain back to me why her behavior was wrong before I even considered it. However, with this way things happened, I decided that it would be unfair to not get it for her when it was not her fault that things had escalated, and I had been prevented from going through that process with her. It made abundantly clear, though, that A, this was not a reward, and B, that her behavior was unacceptable. For those asking about custody, we share custody, but that's a whole other story. If you can point me in the direction of a subreddit where a story of someone trying to prevent sharing custody would be appropriate, I'll post there, or maybe I'll add it there, but not right now because I'm on my phone right now and wouldn't want to type it all out.
I can take this whole thing since Snoop had to read such
Yeah,
a
you
long
can.
story.
Yeah.
Back it.
I can take your whole thing, Daddy. Alright, anyways. Sorry if it looks weird. I'm on mobile. I'm on my phone.
I'm on my phone.
So I was in year 12 and I was texting my friends when the shy girl from science class sends me a message. We text for a bit longer and I go to bed. The next day, I wake up and my friend asks me why I'm cheating on my girlfriend. I tell him I'm not and ask him who told him that. Of course, it was the shy girl. I text shy girl and ask what she was telling people, but she said she didn't say anything. I make it clear that I don't like her and we only saw each other like twice. I thought that was that, but oh boy, I was wrong. I get an email from Shy Girl, Git's mom.
Shy Gits.
Shy
Git.
For those, I don't know how many people know what that means, but that just
I don't.
that basically is kind of just a person, I guess. Just
we
it's
get it.
kind of
they get it.
It's
they
like
get
a
it.
little bit more
Okay, calm
derogative.
down, man.
Get it? It's like
Mom.
Anyways, I get an email from Shy Git's mom telling me to stop bullying her 16-year-old kid. We emailed back and forth for a bit. I wasn't bullying her. I don't know what you're talking about. EP. She told me that you texted her rude messages. Me. I just told her that I already have a girlfriend. Plus, she's 16. Why is she running to you? EP. But she wants to be your girlfriend. Me. I already have a girlfriend. EP. Well, then she can be your girlfriend instead. Me. Are you serious? After that, her mom kept sending me emails that I didn't reply to, and I just thanks for reading. This is one of the stupidest EP stories from my life.
Yeah,
Wow.
I'd have to agree. That was a really dumb story.
Wow.
That's
what
fucked up.
And that's the mom? If it was the mom,
Yeah, no.
that's the dumbest fucking mom.
Why
I
are
know.
women so crazy?
Dude, literally no. Imagine doing the same thing with her. Like, imagine her husband like messaging another girl,
A girl?
and then
Yeah. Why don't you just be my son's girlfriend?
Yeah, why don't you just be my girlfriend?
Just be my son's
then-
boyfriend.
You
Yeah,
just be
be my son's boyfriend. Yeah.
Oh no, he's messaging a boy, be my son's girlfriend.
Oh yeah, be my.
But
son's
how would
girlfriend.
how would the mum feel if her husband's mum was emailing random girls saying, "Oh, be my son's
Well, but
wife,"
That's
and then
literally
he
what
ended
we're
up
just saying.
leaving her?
so
Literally,
here's
that
the
made
thing.
me
No,
Here's
uncomfortable.
the thing that I'm struggling. I know there's arranged marriages in other countries, but like this isn't an arranged marriage. This is like we're kidnapping you, and like,
Yeah.
Stockholm syndrome. You know?
So basically, you have.
You
a
say that like
choice.
arranged marriages aren't terrible things.
They are.
No, I know they
I
are.
mean, in this day and age, in the medieval times, it made sense. But
Yeah.
What?
You gotta
Not
keep
anymore.
the classes clean.
Gotta
no,
keep-
because it's
gotta keep
they're
that race-
political marriages. They
gotta-
weren't like things
gotta-
that the common person does.
Gotta keep that race game strong.
No, it's about keeping peace between nations.
All right.
Yeah.
Anyways, we don't want to get into the
tried some
shit. Let's stick to the
So
topic.
that was the point. Talk about shit. Fuck.
Fuck.
I could not understand us.
EP
Ooh,
is.
I'll read this one.
Okay.
Ooh.
Let me just get some water. Is that the start?
Sounded
Yeah,
refreshing.
that's the stuff.
When I was in college, I worked as a face painter for a local children's museum. This children's museum was famous for its themed days. We had Scooby-Doo Day, Puppy and Kitty Day, Space Day. You get the idea. As one of the face painters, I was expected to come to work with a print out of things that I could paint on a child's face.
You just
Oh,
painted
oh.
child's-
On the day of the story, it was SpongeBob Day. I had most of the main characters as well as the bikini bottom flowers on a sheet of paper to use as a reference.
Hold on. Scooby Doo Day? Dude, you can't be painting children as Shaggy, they'll become too powerful.
Run.
Alright, there we go.
All was well. The kids were loving their face paintings, the lines were fairly short, and then up comes this little boy. His mum quickly follows behind him. She's on her phone, barely paying attention to me or her child. Little boy. Can I get Patrick? Me. Sure, I love starfishes, don't you? The mum pays absolutely no attention through this whole exchange, wanders off, presumably to find her other kid. I proceed to paint Patrick on the boy's cheek. I show him with a mirror what I painted. He's elated and runs off to show his mum. About 10 minutes later, he comes with his mum again. She's dragging her son by the arm. Mum, what do you think you're doing over here? Me. Face painting? Mum, don't be smart with me. Why'd you paint a pink star on my son's cheek? Are you trying to turn him gay? Oh my god.
The fuck?
Boy,
Trying to turn
just-
him gay.
This
curveball
took a
right
turn. I was so
Yeah.
confused for a moment. Me, ma'am, that's Patrick from SpongeBob. Your son asked for Patrick. He's a boy starfish. Here's my reference. Mum, no, it's not a boy. There's a pink starfish. It's a girl starfish. Me, I'm sorry you're upset, ma'am. I just painted him the way he is from the show. Mum, I can't believe this museum would so blatantly hire someone to make our son that's effeminate. I'm going to find your manager. Hey, I need this museum.
Hold on. Before we continue reading this story, can we just take a moment to acknowledge the fact that they give Patrick Starr credit for writing the song "I Wrote This Song"?
Oh my god, shut up.
Shut the fuck up.
What?
Can you?
I don't get this joke. It sounds terrible.
It's on the Genius website. It's a song from SpongeBob. They put the lyrics on there, and it says songwriter is Patrick.
Oh my.
Okay, let's go to that.
Anyway,
She storms off to find the manager. I'm completely flabbergasted at the stupidity of this woman. At this point, the other face painters show up and are assigned different places to paint. One of my good friends is also a face painter, and she's assigned the opposite side of the museum. 15 minutes later, who shows up but the EP again? Mum, fix my son's face. Don't you see what's wrong? At this point, I look at the kid's face and see that first of all, he's very upset after being dragged around by his very angry mother. There's some dried up tears on his face, and his eyes are red. Also, Patrick is now very smeared purple.
That's a great
Me.
group.
Your son looks upset. Mum, of course he's upset. He has a purple star on his face. Make it blue. He's a boy. Then I suddenly understand what happened. She went over to another face painter's booth, demanded a blue starfish, and the artist decided to paint with blue paint directly over my pink paint. Red plus blue makes purple, kids. I explained to the mum that I can't fix this without completely wiping off his face and starting over. She angrily agrees and storms off, leaving me alone with her kid again. The little boy is crying, and I try to make him feel better by telling him some jokes. He starts asking me if Patrick is gay and tells me that pink is his favorite color, but his mum gets mad when he has anything pink. He's so upset I'm painting Patrick blue on his face. So I make an executive decision, and I paint a little bikini bottom flower on his hand, pink on the inside, blue on the outside. I tell him that I'm sorry his mum is mad and that pink is a pretty color and it's my favorite too. Later on, I got her right up for painting Patrick pink when his color is literally pink in the first place, and apparently sassing the mum about it. Wasn't the only one that got written up though. The painter who made Patrick purple, my good friend, she had made him purple specifically to piss off the mum. I saw the boy leaving the museum later, flower in his hand, fully intact. Worth it.
definitely.
Oh, what a sweet story.
Yeah.
Definitely worth it.
Mission accomplished.
Imagine
actually had a-
Shut the fuck up.
That actually had a great ending.
Imagine being that fucking petty.
Oh man,
Oh fuck that.
must
dude.
be Christian.
Wow,
Oh,
Patrick's pink. He must be gay. Roasted.
yeah.
Well,
When
you see, the
when
thing
your
is,
mom
pink
roasts you.
used to be a boy's color anyway, because
Yeah.
red was the man's color and pink was the boy's color because same color.
Imagine
No,
imagine getting roasted by your mom for wearing pink.
Technically, every color is a man's
You little
color,
fag
because
boy.
women don't own anything.
You little fag.
Well, I
boy
mean,
wearing
as a
pink.
fashion
Uh-huh.
sense. Like
Alright.
Victoria era.
Next story.
I attend a fairly prestigious school in New York City where there's a lot of really rich billionaire parents. Honestly, the school isn't even that good academically. It just has a very good reputation with colleges and stuff. With the new semester just starting, about 10% of the class gets put into the gifted program and 10% gets into the helped program, pretty much the rich, lazy kids. Okay. This kid named Aiden was notorious for being very rich, but also a total douchebag and bully. He would often bully me and my friends for being nerds because we're in the gifted program. His parents had been called to the school multiple times because he constantly spends the day in detention. The kid literally called the cops for imprisonment after being put into detention. His parents managed to sue the school, and they somehow got into an agreement where Aiden gets to get out of detention. His parents won't tell anyone. His mom is the generic entitled parent. Her name is Rachel. She thinks Aiden deserves everything. He has a $5,000 gaming laptop he uses for YouTube and is always
Holy
wearing some
shit.
fancy clothes that I cannot afford. He also makes sure that I know that Rachel threatened to sue the school a second time for discriminating against her son. She claimed that the school put her son into help program because they were Jewish.
Bro.
Oh my
No,
fucking god.
No, that's not.
Anti-Semite?
That's
not-
fair though.
That's not true because Jewish people would be poor and picking up every penny. Okay.
I
Somehow-
smell pennies.
No, they'd actually
I
be
smell-
rich because they're good at saving pennies.
Jewish people be like, I
Does
smell
something do with good at
pennies.
mining? because they
Yeah,
can mine the copper from the pennies.
Bro,
Exactly.
this dude Aiden's probably pulling up to school with his Gucci Crocs.
He has Supreme shirt, Supreme jackets. Somehow the school was very defensive because they would already had a contract that pretty much said the school can't punish her baby. The fucking school decided it would be good to put the lazy piece of shit in the gifted program. The kid is holding back the class because he pretty much just jumped from pre-algebra to calc trig combined class. We literally can't learn anything at a very expensive school because of this twat. I really hate any parent that abuses their money and power to ruin other people's lives. Dude.
Damn, dude.
No, let's talk about that one. I
kind of blame the kid for that one because he.
No,
and
it's okay. Who gave the kid the money exactly?
Oh yeah, no. It's kind of both
It's-
their fault
it's
because
always
it's the
the
parents'
parents'
fault
fault.
that he acts like that.
And it's
I blame the
parents' fault
school
that
for
they listen.
allowing this kind of.
Yeah.
Oh
that's
yeah,
some bullshit.
definitely.
Yeah, it's everyone. Everyone's a failure.
What the fuck-
Everyone's at fault except for the person telling the
Exactly.
story.
What the fuck was
And
the
that's
school?
Everyone's fault except me.
That's
What-
the life lesson. It's everyone's fault.
Yeah, pretty much.
Exactly. What the fuck was the school?
It's
saying?
everyone's fault except for the rich kid that can pay off everyone.
That's my question. What the fuck was the school?
But the school should
thinking?
have integrity and not get
Allow
paid
that
off.
shit. Yeah. Some bullshit. Damn.
If
Alright.
I met this woman, I would falcon punch her uterus. Make sure
To-
she never has kids.
To be
again.
hyperbolic for a second, you know what they say: all that it takes for evil to prosper is for good men to do nothing.
That's true. Very true.
Let's test that.
Alright.
So this just happened. I was sitting outside my teacher's office, college, waiting for them to return from whatever they were doing so I could meet with them. And I seemed to find myself perplexed when a student comes up to an office door a few doors down the halls with clearly her mother in town. The kid can't be anything other than a freshman and looks like she's wished for the earth to swallow her. And the mother has this look on her face like she just sucked on a lemon.
Oh, fucking god, that's hilarious.
The
I
world
instantly go from wishing my teacher would hurry up to hoping I could hear what was about to go down.
P. Opened the door, invited them in, being very polite, asked them what seems to be the problem and to have a seat.
At this point, I've discreetly moved closer. I can't see inside the office, but I can hear the muffled words.
Refuses to sit. Angrily.
I
Dude,
heard you
begins-
whisper that.
You fucking moved it when I was trying to read. God damn it. Refuses to sit angrily. Instead begins rimming.
Reaming?
reaming this man.
Yeah.
Reaming
Begins
this
reaming
man.
this man. Did you give my daughter an F?
Gains an exasperated but professional tone. Ma'am, Liz, not real name, earned an F in my course last semester because she failed to come to class more than twice due to the school.
She got A's on all her assignments. I've seen them. You're just doing this because she's a pretty girl, aren't you? You pedophilic, misogynist pig. Wait.
Flower.
Flower.
Hold on.
At this point.
We're at this point.
I'm processing.
Flower, the parentheses. This part.
Hold on.
I'm processing.
Misogynist pig.
At this point, I'm flabbergasted. The daughter was clearly at least 18, and I know this pro. He's amazing. He looks and dresses like a hobo, but is actually very smart, fair, and funny professor. He's also one the known and proud gay pros, and is happily married to his, as of 2017, husband who he's been since the freaking 80s. I often try to get classes with him.
Mom,
Shh, sweetheart, mummy's talking.
instantly gives up after her token attempt to stop her mother Rex. I struggled with that because I'm not used to
I
seeing
heard
Mother
that.
Saurus Rex.
Completely ignored the accusations. If you could let me finish. Wait, what?
EM.
Flower,
That
you
isn't
read the
fun.
parentheses.
Oh, ooh.
That's
EM
you.
releases a gasp. Like P had just insulted her family's honor.
You would have heard me explain that due to the fact she violated a school's
Policy.
She violated a school's policy. There is
heard
nothing
that,
I
my
can
friend.
do to help her. Somehow remaining calm and unruffled, though you can tell the edge of annoyance to his tone.
Goes apeshit crazy the second she hears he cannot help her. I'm pretty sure she was replaced with a gorilla based on the noise that came out of her. I don't care if it's a school policy. You will remove that grade and change it to an A, or I'll pull you for inappropriate behavior with a minor and sue.
Jesus, calm down, filthy Frank.
I like to imagine she was frothing at the mouth.
Like that one video of the guy who
You
was
know
doing
her
that dog
hair is blue.
impersonation.
You know she's got that. You know she's got that. Karen,
One
let me
speaks
see
to
the
managing-
manager
My
haircut.
parents.
Let me see what you
At this
downloaded.
point,
John, I
Oh,
want a
no.
divorce.
John,
Flower,
it's a virus.
At this point,
It's a
I'm
virus, Mom.
transcribing this part.
At this point, I'm transcripting what I'm doing on my
Boy.
laptop, which was in my bag. Because hell, if I'm gonna let this teacher be accused of anything false, and recording is illegal in my state, so I had to improvise. As such, everything after this is pretty much verbatim.
But Mom,
Verbatim.
Shh.
Based on what I was typing down. Shut your up.
I spoke too soon. I'm sorry. But
That's
Mom,
getting
he
titled
did-
"Shut Your Up."
But Mom, he did.
Oh, shh. Hushed her daughter again, but this time with a hiss apparently, and it gestured that I didn't hear any words, but EF stopped talking.
Hush now, Gregory.
Lets out a heavy sighing until he's done with the shit. Ma'am, if you would take a moment to take in your surroundings, you would see that I am 1, married, and 2, gay. I have no interest in your daughter. I have no interest in any female, and your daughter will not magically make me straight just because you wish for a convenient way to get a good grade. Gets up and opens door to office. Now leave my office before I call security. He sounds and looks about one more comment off from laying this lady out, but somehow hasn't degraded into yelling yet. My respect for this teacher has only grown.
Looks absolutely scandalized.
Looks
Shut-
relieved that the worst is probably over.
Why, I never. That was the first time I'd ever heard someone say that IRL. Grabs EF by the wrist while she glares at P. I'll have your job for this. The entire school is a scam. I'll sue you all. She storms down the hall, dragging her daughter as she goes and screeching about how all the different things she's going to do until she's out of hearing range, which means outside.
At this point, P notices me and is quite happy to hear that I heard everything and wrote some down. If she tries anything, he knows who can vouch for him. Here's hoping I never have to keep that promise and EM just leaves well enough alone. I'll update anything happens if anyone cares to know. But really, parents, stop. College isn't like high school. You can't do this. Crap. It doesn't work. You just look like a wacko. Just stop. Anyways, hope y'all enjoyed my little EP observation story.
Shit.
Hey.
Howard, did you write that? It says y'all. You had to have wrote it.
No, it also
No.
says shit. So.
Hey,
Yeah, it also says shit, so Flower definitely didn't write it. No, it says y'all, and that's
Help
I
y'all
would
and
never
Hope
use
that-
y'all.
that's
y'all.
typically
Wait,
yeah,
my
that's
only
typically
I
like
would-
a country, like
I'll
a thing
let you
country
know.
people like to
I
say. So
am
it
a
must have been
range
honchos.
person.
My only question is, how would the mom know that the professor's gay?
Oh no.
She doesn't.
Having
He tells her.
He
He doesn't.
didn't. He
He
told her.
told her.
If anything, he probably had pictures of him and his husband up on the wall. So
She just
Yeah,
accused
just-
him of being a pedophile,
Just
Mm.
a picture
so
of
she'd
you
get better grades.
going to Brown Town with your husband for all
so who said it was brown? You fucking racist. Exactly.
Hey guys,
Yeah.
That's code for anal.
Why I never.
My God, shut up. Why I never do.
I think that's all for today.
All right.
Yeah, that's long
This
enough.
was
Pretty
such a
productive.
good fucking meme. It was great talking to y'all. Peace.
Gay.
Oh. Wait, we need to
I can't wait.